The Panzer IV was the brainchild of General Heinz Guderian. 8,554 of them were built during the war. The tank weighed 22 tons. It was armed with a 75mm main cannon and had 2 machine guns. It had a crew of 5. This nice footage shows the training of Panzermänner that was shot in occupied Poland in 1943. The film has a runtime of 18 minutes and 42 seconds. If you're a Patreon channel member, then you have access to the first reel of this film. If not, please consider becoming one. This is the periodical Die Wehrmacht Ausgabe A from February of 1944. The article covers General Guderian and his role as the Inspector General of Armor. As we talk about his responsibilities in this role, we'll see more of the training film and clips from other sources that are related to the content. The caption of this photo states that the General Inspector is especially interested in the training of the Panzermänner. Here he's monitoring exercises in the sandbox at a training center. The tanker's radio unit is made up of a microphone and a headset. The instructor explains the lay of the land, the unit's positioning, and their objectives. The young commander switches on his radio. He orders the tanks to advance in a wedge formation, and another trainee repositions the models based on his instructions. In this photo, an instructor demonstrates to the General Inspector a dummy round that is used during the training, which allows the tanker to get used to firing the weapon in a realistic manner.
General Oberst Guderian, der Generalinspekteur der Panzertruppen.
This newsreel footage shows General Inspector Guderian visiting a licensing training facility for tank drivers in July of 1943. The tank driver was expected to know his tank both inside and out. Here we see the trainees changing tracks. The General Inspector asks specific questions to the trainees to test the quality of their training. The driving school has specifically customized vehicles for the trainees to practice driving in front terrain to prepare them for the front. This photo shows General Inspector Guderian watching a demonstration of the damage caused by new firing methods for different types of tanks. Back to the training, the young tankers are scheduled for time on the shaking firing range. It's obviously not the chassis of an advanced Panzer, but I suppose the idea was simply to get used to firing a weapon in a less than stable environment. In late 1941, the Americans introduced gyro stabilizers to the M3A1 light tank, and by 1944, all American tanks had some form of gyro stabilizers. These stabilizers were really only effective at low speeds on level terrain, but was certainly an advantage over the German tanks, which didn't have stabilizers. With all the trainees gathered and called to attention, our young tankers are called forward. Back to our article, it states that the General Inspector is responsible for everything that has to do with tanks. Guderian is known for making surprise visits to factories to speak with the workers and is often present when new technologies are being tested. He personally oversees the continual improvement in efficiency of fabrication and is directly involved in the supply of tanks to the front. He is the Führer's direct advisor regarding everything that has to do with armor. Guderian often travels from the headquarters to the front in order to speak directly with the leadership involved in the operations, and then returns with up-to-date information. Please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.